It is. Uh-oh. Shit. They came in like, woo. I think it's Juneteenth. I went to an event yesterday, but that was the 18th, so it's June 19th today. I have been like ruminating on making this video today. I hope I don't go off and forget the points that I want to make. I need to start like jotting stuff down that I want to talk about, and so I can keep myself on a trajectory. But like I said, yesterday was June the 18th, and I went to an event in Kirkwood. Now I saw this come through my feed on Facebook like a month and a half ago, and I thought to myself, oh, I'm gonna go there, because it was this band that was gonna be there called the Red and Black Brass Band, I think the name of it is. And they play New Orleans jazz band style. I got hip to them through an associate of mine that I used to hike with. So, and I was hoping to run into her, truthfully. But that's not why I made the plans. But probably why I kept them is because I was hoping I was going to run into her. And at any rate, I come home, I rush home, get my dog, because I'm going to take my dog with me. I don't have to be by myself all the time. Sometimes I can have some type of company with me, and that's my dog. And we going to an event that's outside in a park. Yeah, I can take my dog. So I go and get my dog, and we get over there before the show even starts. They had a couple of announcements. They talked about how the park was named Ivory Crockett, and it's actually named after a black citizen that lives in the area where this park is, and it was renamed for him for, I'm not sure exactly the reason, but he did something for the community that made them rename the park after him. And so they talked about that and everything. And me and Sebastian just hanging in the brush, and people are being very receptive to him because he's a pretty dog. He's a very pretty dog, and he wants everybody's love. For whatever reason, he feels like he is the superstar, and people are supposed to be fawning over him. I didn't teach him this. This is just who he is and what his personality is made of. Like, so, the show went on. About 20 minutes into the show, maybe it wasn't that long, 10 minutes into the show, because they only sang a couple of songs before they took their first break. And anyway, my phone rang. I looked at it, it said Jim O'Connor's, a friend of mine from high school. Now, we hung in high school, but outside of high school, we really never hung. And that was a very minute time that our friendship, connected, blossomed, and then went away. We never fall out or nothing. She just kind of, I seem to have, that's what I want to talk about. I seem to have this history with women where I connect with them. We hang out like every motherfucking day, talk every motherfucking day. I mean, just like, it's almost like, wow. It's almost like honeymooning. The honeymoon stage in domestic violence. But am I the one doing the honeymooning? Anyway, the relationships I see, the history, it's a pattern of women that come into my life, I think we friends. I bend over backwards doing everything I can for the friendship, for the friend. I be there in ways they never can be there for me. But during the friendship, it doesn't matter. It's always in hindsight that I see the evolution of the relationship not really having any benefit for me. The benefit is for the friend that comes, and they come in and they act like really well on they love me and we friends. 99.9% of the women that I've had in my life as a friend has said that they love me, and said it first, because that's not something that I say lightly. It's not something I say lightly. So all of them has come in and said they love me, and then at some point disappeared without no type of conversation, conflict, or communication as to why there's no indicators that shows that the relationship is finna end. And then they walk away as if they've never known me before. They walk away like they've never known me before. I wonder what that light is right there. I think the camera must be really dirty. At any rate, she was one of those people that came and went in my life, but for whatever reason, it didn't negatively affect me. I just noticed the pattern as I look back on all the relationships that I've had with women as supposedly friends in my life. And I really feel like I know where it stems from. It stems from my mother and the relationship that I have with her. And the dynamic between us is she doesn't love me in a way that normal mothers love their daughters. She loves me in obligated, so it's I don't know how to say, obligatory or something like that. She has that type of relationship with me, like she feels obligated to love me because she had me, but truthfully, she probably don't even like me. So most of my relationships with the women that come into my life reflect that relationship that I have with her at some point. Probably not initially, or I wouldn't get into it, or I could see it real clear. No, it comes off as genuine. I like you, we cool, let's do this. And then at some point, girl, you know what, I love you. And then, at some point there is a declaration of love towards me. And shortly after the declaration, the person moves on. It's hardly ever me that walks away from a friendship. I have, but it's few and far between. Most of the relationships that I've had with women, they are the ones that walk away with, and I be just like dumbfounded as to what happened. Why did this occur? Like, what did I do? So first I go inward and start trying to figure out what did I do wrong. And normally I don't come up anything, but I can always manage to take the blame for the fall of any relationship that I've been in my life. And so eventually I take the blame for the downfall of the relationship. So back to the event that I went to yesterday. I saw the girl from high school. She saw me from a distance. And so she called me and she said my first and last name. And I always know when somebody know me from what area they know me from when they call me by my first and last name. Because I done had 4 of them. Check that. So I knew knew who it was because I looked at my phone and her number is programmed in my phone. When I came back to St. Louis in 2014, I tried to reconnect with a whole bunch of people that I thought I was cool with, and none of those relationships blossomed into anything, including her. So her name popped up, and I asked her, I'm like, hey, what's up? Then I can hear on the phone with her that she in the same area that I'm in, because the music is now reflecting through her phone and mine, and I can hear them both. So she's saying, I knew that was you. What you doing in my neck of the woods? You don't live over here. What you doing over here? Now, she tried her very best to say that in a way that sounded fun or playful. But because of all the work that I'm doing on myself and the growth that I have made, I no longer deny what my inner self is saying, so that I can appease someone to have a relationship with that's going to eventually walk away anyway. So I felt all that heat that she had on the phone. Now, she probably in her mind feels like she was just jeffing and making jokes and having fun. She was not, because I'm going to tell you, I'm the receiver of the energy, so I can tell you what the energy is like for me. You may have, but her intention wasn't even there, because I would have felt intention. It was very, very that. What I thought, it was very that. What you doing in my neck of the woods? I'm like, what you mean? She said, you over here, you don't live over here, do you? I said, nah, I ain't think you lived over here. Why? What you over? I said, I'm over here to see the band. She was like, oh, okay, I know you don't live over. So where you live at now? I said where I lived at, but it was just very where I got it right now. It was very that. I got off the phone with her. The conversation was very brief. I got off the phone with her, and at the time that she called, I was already texting another high school friend of ours. And I didn't notice this until after the fact, but I'm going to say it I noticed it at the time. After I got through talking to her, I texted a friend that I had been already, and let's not call her friend, I texted the associate that I had already been texting back and forth with, my high school mate, and said Gemma and her friend is up here at the park. Now, and that's all I said. But like I said, I noticed in hindsight, once I got home, the whole me texting the friend from high school that they were there was a portion of unhealed me wanted to talk about the fact that I felt like she had just really shaded me over the phone. But the more healed part of me wouldn't allow me to elaborate past Gemma and her friend is here. And so my high school mate latched on to who the friend was and started throwing out guesses, and eventually sent pictures of the girl, but I still didn't know her name. Then she said the name, and I said, yeah, that's her. And we texting back and forth. I still ain't said nothing negative about them to my schoolmate. But I'm feeling real negative because that was just a very negative interaction that I had with her over the phone. So my high school friend texts me, make sure you tell them I said hi. I'm going to invite them to my 60th birthday party this year. I just thought about her today. I'm going to put her on the list. You know, something to that effect she had texted. So, of course, in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, well, you know, don't go any further. Because, you know, that's messy. So I didn't. But then at some point, I did go and say hi to them for her. Against my own better judgment. I didn't even want to do it, but now I feel obligated because this high school friend wants me to go because she's excited that I saw, that I connect, or she thought I connected with her. What she did was she called and made me feel like shit, because if she wanted to connect with me, she'd have got up out of her chair, walked around where I was, and gave me a hug and said, damn, it's good to see you. What you doing up here? You know, whatever. That wasn't the vibe at all. It was, the vibe was, fuck you doing over here. That's what the vibe was. She don't live over here. That's probably what she had said to her associate. I mean, her best friend who she was with. Fuck she doing over here. She don't live over here. Like, and it was a Juneteenth celebration that the Red and Black Brass Band was playing in a black park in Magic City, because that's what that is. That's Magic City over there in Kirkwood, where the black people stay at, which is a little less respected than Kirkwood. Man, I hate to leave this right here, but I'm at work and we is 17 minutes in. But I'll be back with part 2. And I've never done no part 2 before, but I gotta finish this up. I'm gonna be back with what happened when I walked over there where they were sitting to tell them hi from my schoolmate.